How stressful is it to be in charge for a Sidemen Sunday? It depends on the video. Like if you got a hide and seek, you're probably living. You don't have to do too much in terms of planning. The content kind of makes itself. But if you're doing like a versus type video, so like cheap v expensive, hot v cold, anything like that, straight away it doubles your workload in the sense that you have to look after two different teams. So your attention isn't focused on one place. You have to divide your attention, which makes it a bit harder to pull things off. And then when you factor in trying to interlink bits, maybe allow some crossover between the teams, then everything becomes time sensitive, and that adds even more pressure. So yeah, I guess it just depends what type of video it is. In fact, if I go through the last few, what's the last few Sidemen Sundays we done? Road trip, USA, stressful. Probably the most stressful video I've ever done. Hide and seek in the school, calm, chill. Like the most work comes when you have to watch through the edit and make sure that the school are okay with everything in the video, and you know, certain things are just cut properly. That's the hardest work in there. $100 versus $100,000 holiday, stressful. Again, that was across 2 days, so straight away it's a huge shoot. Tinder in real life, stressful in terms of booking other people. Like I said in the stream before when we spoke about it, basically the more people you have in a video, the more reliant you become on other people, the more stress it is, because people can and will let you down, or sometimes life lets you down. So that was stressful in that sense. Stressful to people who are in the video because there's a pressure to deliver, because Tinder is one of our biggest or most viewed, most popular bits of content. So you want to deliver, like you want people to enjoy the video. You don't want to be a reason the video is like pulled down. So that's stress in itself. Escape room, the planning that went into that one, nuts. Ethan smashed that one out of the park. I think there was 9 different rooms that had to be built, put together, you know, and that was fully custom. So that cost a lot of money as well. And spending, like I said earlier, spending huge amounts of money on a video, there's an added pressure for it to deliver. There's one video that you would have heard us talk about ages ago. It was the Sidemen movie trailer that we did for April Fools. That back then we spent about $25,000 on that video, which back then was like a crazy amount of money to spend on a video. Yeah, I feel like the final product was very disappointing for us in comparison to what it could have been or should have been. You know what I mean? So that gave all the boys PTSD. But I feel like in recent times we've been much better with our spending and recouping a good amount of value from what we spend money on. Hole in the wall, stupid expensive, that one. Lots of moving parts. That was stress in the sense that they got the board wrong. The board should have been on the ground, but it was higher up, so it made all the easy ones really difficult. 20 versus 1, light work, because there's not really much needed behind the scenes other than to book the girls and then maybe come up with some things to give the man in the hot seat to do. The stress all falls on the person in the hot seat, and even then it's like, yeah, you know what it is. Game shows are, once you've like decided on the set, you just have to host really, and it's not too stressful hosting. Depends what energy the contestants have that day. And then what do we have? 20,000 versus $200 birthday party. Once again, it's a logistical one, so a fair bit of stress in there. Turning £1 into 100,000 in 24 hours. Somewhat calm. Stressful because public videos are stressful because like fans will stop you. They'll stop you, and you don't want to be rude and ignore them, but at the same time you have an obligation to get content done and deliver that content on Sunday, so you can't really give them your time. So we would have loved to do so much cool shit to get money, but we ended up getting hounded by fans and having to find what's the word I'm looking for, a compromise, in the sense of, okay, we'll do something mildly entertaining with you in exchange for some money. Half of them were photos because we just got mobbed and we didn't want to just neglect the fans, but at the same time we had a video to make, so we tried to make money in that sense. So yeah, it was like a middle ground, but realistically we'd have liked to do that a lot better. I think the public videos, like I said, they're really difficult now because of just the fan interaction is off the charts, man. It's crazy. Like, yeah. Are there any new concepts coming to Sidemen? So we actually had a planning session the other day. I feel like we have them every couple of months where we look back through our ideas list and we come up with as many new ideas as we can, and we sit in a call and we just like try and flesh them out. We weed out the shit ones with no potential, and we flesh out the ones that do have some potential and make them into like a main channel video. Or if they're not quite main channel video, we bank them for second channel. So we had another one of those calls on, I want to say Saturday morning, and I think we came up with some pretty good concepts, so hopefully we'll be delivering them over the next few months. The hard bit is having to navigate JJ's fighting schedule and his music schedule, and now navigating Ethan. I mean, we just have to do bits without Ethan when he goes into dad mode. But yeah, just figuring out how to keep the standard of content high in a period where we're not all gonna be available all the time. Yeah. Do you still enjoy making videos? Of course, of course. I think if we didn't enjoy it, we would have stopped by now. Like, it's 9 years of Sidemen in 2 months, God willing. It's crazy. Did JJ and Simon apologize after the road trip argument? It wasn't a real argument. It wasn't. Like I said, everything that you see will be somewhat amplified. It's very rare that it happens sometimes where you see like a genuine bit of frustration or genuine feelings in the video, but more time it's like exaggerated for content purposes. How are mukbangs in stress level? Mukbangs are calm, but also I guess since sidecast as well, actually no, sidecast doesn't even affect it really. It does a little bit, but not majorly. It's just getting the topics to talk about in the mukbang. Normally, like sometimes you'll have it where it's like just a bit of a dry week and nothing's like really happened, or a dry period of time where nothing's really happened, and then it's a bit more exhaustive to kind of think of interesting topics to talk about that people actually care about, and like the conversation flows naturally. But sometimes we'll just be in a flow state and the conversation will just bounce from one thing to another, and it's completely random. But by the time you've watched the full thing, it's like, whoa, that was a fucking journey. That was a sick little mukbang. Because a mukbang is essentially a podcast where you're eating. If KSI would be hosting 100 versus $100,000 road trip, he set everyone in a bad team and himself in a good team. The thought of JJ hosting one of those videos terrifies me. Terrifies me. Do you ever feel like you want to slow life down sometimes? Life is just happening, man. Yeah, life is just moving. I've tried a lot more this year to kind of be present and really appreciate. Yeah, to try and really appreciate what's going on, the experiences I'm experiencing, and just, you know, enjoy life for what it is. Enjoy being somewhat healthy. Enjoy having people that you love and care about around you. Yeah, and when you do that, I feel like it slows down a little bit. But yeah, life's moving fast, man. My little brothers and sisters aren't so little anymore. I've got nephews and nieces. My friends are all getting engaged and married and having babies. Like, it's crazy. But I'm not letting the pace of life around me affect my pace of life, you know? Do things at your own speed and your own time. Obviously be aware of what's going on around you and like make smart decisions. But what is a smart decision really? Because no one actually knows what's going to work out and what's not going to work out. Like, there's a bit of luck to it, a bit of chance.